Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day curd nerds. Welcome back. I'm Gavin Webber. I'm the host of the show, and today is Ask the Cheeseman, episode 354. Thank you so much for joining today. Lots of people in the chat, which is absolutely fantastic. Good to see. Okay, what have we got on for today? Well, of course, thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members. Thank you to YouTube members Esther Leader, who has renewed her membership, and Jeffrey, same thing. Lily, and we've got Tim Schubert, what's that, Dilly Gaff, we got Blue, Wolf DeYupa, and Froopy. Thank you so much for becoming members of the channel. Also, we have new patron. Thank you to Whitney Morgan for becoming a patron. The links are down below. You can hit the join button for YouTube memberships, and you can there's the Patreon links down in the description. Just one thing of note: when this video goes into archive mode, so after the live stream, it goes into an archive, so become part of the live stream set of Ask the Cheeseman video. This will become the 900th video on the channel, so something I'm pretty proud of. That's a lot of cheese videos, I reckon. Anyway, thank you, Valhalla awaits. Now there was something else I was going to do. Where is it? No, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, Trello. That's what I was looking for. Where is my Trello board? So I can show you what's coming up soon. Over to the second monitor. This is not big enough. Why not? There we go. All fixed. So, just finishing promoting I made 4 cheeses using the Fromaggio. Here is what I learned. It is... Well, I can just say that the video is going off like a frog in a sock. So, yeah, the amount of viewership it's got so far has exceeded my expectations. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I definitely tried to make it a well-rounded review, and yeah, it's good. Anyway, so I'm actually making a couple of vegan cheeses today. So let's put that into the video shoot section. So yeah, that's coming up, and I'm just putting the finishing touches on the garden beds. I know it's not a cheese video, but it's one I've been wanting to do for ages, so I'm just putting that gardening one, so that should be good fun. The first batch of Mount Cottrell, aka Valence, I had to throw in the bin. So I'm doing another set. Anyway, so maybe I'll put that back to pre-planning. I have a final meeting with Hannah Instruments. Seems to be dragging along so much. I've got my pH meter that they provided me, and we're just going through the what they want type thing. It's a brand deal. Anyway, so that's what's coming up, and there's a whole bunch of other ideas, video ideas that we've got. I'm still waiting for bee linens from my supplier, so that's a bit of a problem, because most of these cheeses in the list are all bee linens cheeses. But we've got a whole bunch of other ideas. I'm going to try a low moisture pizza mozzarella as well. I found a recipe for it, so we'll give that a go as well, so that should be good fun. Okay, back to my head. There we are. So let's say good day to a few people in the chat. So many. I think Shauna was the first one, and then we got Dominic. G'day, Dominic. I think that's how it rolled. Yep. And then g'day to Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey. Lovely to see you as always. Merv, pleasure as always, mate. Who's next? Valhalla Awaits has a question, a burning question. We'll get to that one in a sec. Jill has a question, and we'll get to that as well. G'day, Jill. David Nelson. G'day, mate. How are you? Looks like you referred Valhalla Awaits. Very nice. Lisa Zombicus. G'day, mate. How are you? What else we got? Brendan Heffernan. G'day, Brendan. Lovely to see you, mate. And thank you for all those photos. It's going to be quite a read during the gallery at 30 minutes past the hour. All Out of Spoons. Titus. G'day to both of you. Who else? That's about it. We've got 25 watching at the moment, so absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for turning up. Okay, let's get into some questions. Oh, no, last thing, like I said, the gallery is at 30 minutes past the hour, so that's always good fun because there's so many cheese photos. It's just great. I didn't have many when I put out the call for them last night, but this morning I got up and my inbox was full, so... Very good. Thank you so much, everybody who sent them in. Okay, so... right, questions. Right, there you go. I've done everything on my list. Let's grab the first question, which was from... where are we? Here we are. Valhalla Awaits. Says, I've got goats and I'm going to start milking this season. Any suggestions for how to process it into cheese? Yes. Yes, I do. You come to the right place, that's for sure. So, if you've never made cheese before, then a good place to start is popping over to the channel page. And let's just do that while we're doing this. So, popping over the channel page, go and hit the search and look for goat. Goat's a good thing. So we've got a couple of choices here. Where's the first one? First one I recommend is making sherv at home. This is a soft goat's cheese, so hang on, I'll grab that and we'll put the link in. What a good looking rooster. God, he's a bit thin. Well, he's still got grey hair, so... oh, goodness me. Let's just grab that. So this is the sherv recipe. There we go. Should be in the chat there. Yep, good. And let's go back and find the goat's milk cheddar, which is a great cheese as well. Let's share that. Breaking the fourth wall as I do. There's another one, goat's milk cheddar. Go and check that one out. There's a couple. You can make just about any cheese on the channel with goat's milk. However, goat's milk has... certain proteins that give it a different flavour than cow's milk, so you're going to get a tangier flavour or zippier flavour than you would normally a cow's milk cheese. So just be aware of that. But there's a couple of recipes to get you going. Go and watch those, and yeah, you'll be fine. But I do highly recommend some books, and I've got some just for you. My books over at Little Green Workshops. Where the heck are they, Gav? Where's me books? Here we go. So over at courses.littlegreenworkshops.com.au, I've got the Keep Calm and Make Cheese ebook bundle. Come on, where is it? Show me the money. Here we are. Let me just grab the link for you. Go and check these out. They are my 2 ebooks. I do have hardcovers, but currently they're out of print, so you can go and check those out. There you go. Hope that all works. All right. The next question is from Jill. Jill says, "Hi Gavin, I made the Cotswold Tice now, but both times the curd is really crumbly, having difficulty getting it in properly using raw cow's milk. First time I've had this with a cheese." Okay, so because you're using raw cow's milk, it already has a lot of lactic bacteria in it before you even start. And also, depending on when you use the milk, hopefully you're using it within the first 24 hours is always the best, because otherwise the bacteria has time to acidify. And what's happening, getting a crumbly cheese means your your acidity levels are way off from what the normal recipe is. Remembering that in my books and all the recipes that I use, I'm using pasteurized, unhomogenized milk. Okay, so there are no lactic bacteria present in the milk because they've been killed off by the pasteurization process. Because you're using raw milk, there are some lactic bacteria present. So when you're making it using my recipes, it's probably best to use only half of the culture amount, okay, and probably ease off on the rennet by about 25%. So that's 75% of the amount of rennet that I put in my recipes. Otherwise, the curd set is going to be way too firm, and that also can lead to crumbly cheese as well. So that's probably the main issue, because you're using raw cow's milk dew. You could fix all that, I suppose, by doing home pasteurization, low temperature, long hold, which, can I find the video for that? Gavlar, where are we? Pasteurization, hang on, I'll just grab the link for you, pop it into the chat. So this is the video, home pasteurization. There we go. So go and check that out, Jill, and you'll be pleasantly surprised how much easier things are when using most recipes in most cheese making books, because the assumption is that you're using pasteurized milk. Okay. Lisa says, I figured out what was going on last week with my computer problems. It's when it's charging, it's not all normal. Oh, there you go. Yes, charging can affect the performance of your PC. Sometimes even when it's on battery, performance can be different than what it is when it's actually plugged in. And who else? What else? Have we got a... I just plugged your stream in my chat. Might have a few goat watchers incoming. Nice. Very good. What else? Brendan says, a frog in a sock. What's that? A frog in a sock. I love that colloquialism. Yeah, it's a term we learnt in the Navy, I think. Very often we used that term, going off like a frog in a sock. You can just imagine it. Oh, goodness me. Dominic has a question, and he says, is it possible to make casu marzu in the US? Are there required larvae even available? I know it's illegal to import the cheese. I would either have to make it myself or go to Sardinia. No, I wouldn't even try, honestly. If you want to make yourself sick, then go ahead, but no, Dominic, I certainly would not even attempt to make casu marzu. Okay, we got a couple of super chats, and I don't know why the sign's not going off. Let's just see. Oh, I touched nothing. It just happened. Thank you so much. We've got Shauna. Thank you for the $15, and we got Scotty Orange. How important is temperature control? Very important. And the reason I say that, and thank you for the super chat, mate. So temperature control, lactic bacteria grow at optimum temperatures, right? So mesophilic starter culture grows from about 21 degrees Celsius up to about 38 degrees Celsius. So within that temperature range, and there is an optimum within that temperature range, right in the middle, about 32-ish Celsius. Talking Celsius. So, yeah, if you don't hit those targets, then you're not going to get optimum lactobacteria growth and convert the milk sugars or lactose into lactic acid. So, bit of a problem. With thermophilic starter culture, the optimum temperature is from about 30 degrees up to about 45, 48. Above that, then you've killed it off, and then it turns into Parmigiano Reggiano, and very small curd size and stuff like that. So temperature control is absolutely 100% necessary. Also, when the warmer the milk, the quicker the rennet also works as well. So That's always a consideration. So absolutely make sure that that your temperature control is spot on. So a good way to manage temperature control, Scotty Orange, is using a precision cooker. Let me see if I can find the link to that. Lots of links today, which is great. Here we go. Heating milk. I think that's what I called it. Heating milk. Using a sous vide for heating milk. There we go. So let's grab that. So this is a video I made on how I... so that's heating milk. This is the easiest way to heat your milk for cheese making, Scotty. So yeah, it'll work. So you get spot on temperature control, no issues. Don't have to worry about anything basically during the cheese making process. Also, Shauna, thank you so much for your super chat as well. Let's make the light go one more time. I don't know why it didn't go a first time. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for your support for a very long time. It looks like you're looking at the icon. Where can we see the icon? Just there. Just down there. There's the icon. Yeah, it means that Sean has been a YouTube member for a long time. So absolutely fantastic. Now, apparently Merv has a question that I've missed. Don't know why I've missed Merv's question. Can I find it? Merv says something about something. Something about brine. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Yes, there we go. Thanks. Sorry, Merv. When reusing brine solution, should it be topped up with more salt? Yes. So there are salt meters you can get, but my rule of thumb for me, I grab 2 tablespoons of salt and refresh the brine with that. So just put 2 tablespoons of salt into the brine and then mix it up. I tend to, and recently I tend to make a fresh batch of brine once it becomes on the nose, and usually you can smell it. If you've used it many times and you've used it for different cheeses, the recommendations are, if you're using brine, use them for specific types of cheeses. Like if you're making semi-hard and hard cheeses, fine, and you need to use brine, use that for one. If you're brining things like camemberts or washed rind cheeses, anything with bacteria present, as in, sorry, not bacteria, molds present, then use a separate brine for, say, washed rind cheeses, and if you're using white mold cheeses. There tends to be some cross-contamination in brines. If you boil the brine before you use it, then that does kill off the bacteria, so you obviously got to let it cool down, because yeah, it is a bit of a pain. But yeah, I've got one that I specifically use for harder cheeses compared to any other cheeses that I brine. So thanks, Merv, for that question. That was a good one. Let's just get rid of that. Now, I think Brendan has something to add to that. He says, I never reuse my brine. It is too difficult to ensure that it's at the right concentration. Salt is cheap, so I just ditch it. Fair enough. Salt is cheap. So there you go. Jill says, oh, this is on her question. Perfect, thank you. Yes, certainly had a very firm curd set and milk used within 24 hours. Great, that's fantastic. Couldn't check the pH because I dropped my pH meter. Damn it. Yes, it's got a glass tip. If you drop it, it breaks. Unfortunately, because they're lab equipment. The one I got is anyway, and yeah, it's very fragile, very delicate little thing. So anyway, yeah, I think that'll sort all your problems out. Halve the amount of culture, or pasteurize it. Lisa says, I toss mine out when it looks funky. I hope you're talking about your brine there, Lisa. Merv says, thanks, Gav. I've only used it for hard cheese, but good info. Yes, No problems at all, Merv. I can't help myself. Lisa says, I got an Inkbird precision cooker as a Christmas gift and it changed my life. Yeah, I must admit, it is, if, you're a curd nerd, like all of you are, and you want a life-changing event, then getting a precision cooker certainly is a good thing to do, because it does. Once you get rid of all that fuss of heating the milk and controlling the temperature by simply leaving in the pot in a water bath and the precision cooker heating the water, I tell you, it's a game changer. It takes your cheese to another level, right up here, Chook's level. Right. For those who don't get the reference, go and watch the movie Muriel's Wedding. Brendan Heffernan says pH meters are great, but a real nuisance. You have to calibrate it each time. Yes. Well, I was talking to Hannah Instruments the other day, as you do, doing I had to do some education before I started spruiking about the meter. So I had to do an education piece. I sat down via Zoom in front of a lady with me meter, and we did the things and tested it. She told me that you only need to calibrate once per session, if that makes sense. Not every time you have to use it. So if you're using it for a session for one cheese over the period of, say, 8 hours, she says, well, that's fine. It won't lose its calibration over that. But if you need to use it the next day, then recalibrate. So that was her advice to me, using the Hannah Instruments Hero 2 cheese tester. So, Brendan, take that for what it's worth, mate. Lisa says I was talking about brine tossing. Yeah, I know. I was just cracking a joke. Free the oranges. Long time. Long time? What's a long time? Long time watcher, first time commenter. Hello, Free the Oranges. Question: is your top? Question: what is your top 3 daily cheeses? Well, I don't eat cheese every day, but sometimes I do. Occasionally, but yeah. Look, I won't say daily cheese. Let's say weekly cheeses. It depends on what's in the cheese fridge. So, what did I have recently? I had some Red Leicester, which was absolutely delicious, from a Welsh company, Snowdonia Cheese Company. I think that's what they're called. So, yeah, Red Leicester, absolutely delicious, gorgeous cheese. There's a similar one that I've had that's very nice. Ashgrove cheeses from Tasmania is delicious. Also, that Rachel mentioned, the St. Ivel cheese. My goodness. Kim and I finished off the last one. It was going a little bit funky. You can smell it, the smell. It was maturing too far. I had it in the kitchen fridge, wrapped in foil still. So, yeah, that St. Ivel, that was so nice. I'll tell you what, if you haven't had a go at making it, give it a try. It looks simple, but using, putting the addition of the MA 4000 series culture instead of an aromatic mesophilic culture, I tell you what, that is a good cheese. Really good cheese. So, all the Titanic stuff aside, the St. Ivel cheese was delicious. So, get stuck into that. What's another one I've had recently? I can't remember. What did I have? Well, it was one of mine. It was gorgeous. Oh, yes. Alpine Blossom. So, I had some Alpine Blossom the other day. I tell you what, it was over a year old, and my goodness, it was just amazing. It had it was a Gruyere. Basically, Alpine Blossom's based on the Gruyere recipe, which is a Swiss cheese, and it's a very hard Alpine cheese. I tell you what, the flavour just kept, because I'll explain myself. I vacuum packed it. I scraped all the flowers off just lightly with a butter knife. I vacuum packed a quarter of it and put it in the kitchen fridge and forgot about it. And then I found it in my stash the other day because Kim was looking for a cheese for the for a ricotta tart that I'd made ricotta from the Formaggio machine. and I had to use it. So we made this ricotta tart. I tell you what, we got this extra cheese. It was beautiful. So yeah, the Alpine Blossom, which was really Gruyere, was just amazing. Just amazing. There you go. So there's some cheeses that I loved recently. And Scotty Orange Super Chat. Thank you, Scotty. Says, I've been thinking about temperature a lot lately. Just wondered if a cheese recipe exists that requires a well-timed temperature change or swing. Yes, there are many. Let me think. So, one that goes without saying is say Romano, because if you start off, the recipe starts at about 32 degrees Celsius or something like that, and then during the stirring phase, the temperature goes up to 48 degrees Celsius. Massive jump in temperature as far as cheeses go anyway, because you're using a thermophilic culture and you're trying to get the curds really, really small, like rice grain size small. And absolutely, it's a good example of temperature change increase from a low one when you first add the culture all the way up to really high temperature. So Romano or Pecorino Romano, Vascio Romano, Parmigiano Reggiano, or even the cheese that cannot be mentioned. So so that's a good one. Thank you, Scotty Orange, for that. And absolutely fantastic. So that's how you do it. And so the precision cooker, perfect. So you increase the temperature. You can increase it all at once because it takes a while for the temperature to go up in the water and the heat transfer from the water through the pot to the milk. So it takes time. So there you go. All right. Thanks for your question. Right. So Zombica says, my Alpine Blossom is due to be covered with honey, flowers and herbs. Can't wait. Yes, it will be spectacular, Lisa. Don't you worry about that. All right, another question. Dominic says, I recently moved from Chicago to Florida. I've noticed that my yogurt and kefir seem different, better. Is it possible the native environment bacteria may play a part? Yeah, could be. Could be. You're moving to a warmer climate, obviously, and ambient temperatures are different, obviously. Chicago's cold, Florida's warm. So the environment can also have different lactic bacteria floating in the air. Usually it's from the milk and the cows around it, but if you're not using raw milk, then it doesn't really make much difference either way. Let me think. Yeah, the environment can have an effect on, the outcome of your cheese. So I can't go much into that without testing and all that sort of stuff. Oh, this is hilarious. I didn't know I was hanging out with a bunch of brine tossers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that is so good. Don't knock brine till you try it. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, why is it so funny today? Dominic says, alas, no, not alas. Unfortunately, on my move to Florida, none of my cheese molds make it. You'll have to get some more, mate. You'll have to grab some more baskets. Oh, Cool Cat, welcome. Thank you so much. Free the oranges, thank you. I love it when you get into stories. I love a good story. Anyway. Vahala says, lol, the other cheese that cannot be mentioned. Well, now I want to know what that cheese is. Okay, let me just let me just show you what the cheese that cannot be mentioned. There is a story. Somebody, if you like a story, here's a story. We got 1 minute to go before the thing. The story is, I made this cheese called Grana Padano, right? And I got about a year later, I got a cease and desist letter from the consortium of Grana Padano. It was from their legal team anyway. It was so they sent me a cease and desist. said I need to take the video down because I was breaching copyright, all that sort of stuff. Can I find it? Cheese and desist. I don't know if I can. Oh, there we go. Let's have a quick look. So over on the page, so it says here, cease and desist. I never thought this would happen. Very great. I love that thumbnail. Oh, I posed for that. So yeah, so that's the cheese. And here we are. I eventually changed the cheese, so I redubbed it. So I called it the cheese and desist style cheese with taste test to Italy with love. But they did apologise eventually, so it's a massive story. It was funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but it was funny the next day when I got the apology, because what happened was that it got onto Reddit for some reason, on the front page of Reddit, and in fact a couple of legal YouTubers did a video on it as well to see if I was in the right or the wrong. Apparently I was in the right. So it got a bit of press, which was good. And all these people on Reddit went over to the consortium's webpage and kind of flamed them with requests saying, how dare you tell Gavin to take his cheese down, and all this sort of stuff. And that's why I got the apology within 24 hours. So it was so funny. It was a cheese drama. I've never heard anything like it. So yeah, very cool. Anyway, enough cheese and desist. Happy days. How to promote your channel by making a cheese. Goodness me. Yeah, send somebody a cheese and desist. Anyway, let's have a look at the gallery today. I'm sure there's some people who are very excited about the gallery, so let's get into it. The gallery is sent in by you, the Curd Nerd. So here we go. Here's the first one. Oops, where's the narrative to go with it? This one's from Brendan. Brendan's in the chat today, being cheeky, which is great. It says, hi Gavin, I've attached some photos for you. First up, I wanted to share my prize from the Camden show. The Camden show is much like the Sydney Royal Easter show, but on a smaller scale. It's held in the picturesque suburb of Camden, not far from where I live. It takes place over 2 Fridays and Saturdays just before the Royal Easter show kicks off. The event is a wonderful showcase of local talent and produce, featuring competitions in an area like baking, olive oil making, mead, knitting and more. It also offers rides, sideshow alley attractions and a carnival-like atmosphere, creating a fun and vibrant community event. One of the highlights for me is the handmade dairy produce section, which includes a variety of cheese categories. These range from soft cheeses such as white, mold-ripened cheeses made by cow, sheep or goat milk, to hard cheeses including feta style and an open category for any other hard cheese. I'm thrilled to share that my cheese won first prize in the any other hard cheese category 506. Even more exciting, I was awarded the champion title across all categories, beating out local cheese producers who took second place. It's been a rewarding experience and I'm so proud to have my cheese recognised at this level. It is the cheese displayed at the show in the fridge. So this is in the fridge. So Brendan calls himself the Curd Nerd online, which is cool. So champion, first prize, and there's a second picture. There we go. He's got a ribbon, a big sash. Look at the size of that. That's going straight to the pool room, I bet. Brendan, what do you reckon? Oh, that's a great looking. And the cheese was... Did I say what the cheese was? The cheese was Buddha-Kaiser. I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty sure. Was it? Yeah, let me know. You didn't put what it was in the thing there. So you won, but you didn't say what the cheese was. Was it Buddha-Kaiser? Put it in the chat, mate. Okay, so then Brendan goes on and says he's done a whole bunch of other cheeses. So let's have a look. Yep, he says, yes, it is Buddha-Kaiser. Right. Obviously, they'd never had Buddha-Kaiser at the Camden show before. So, winner, chicken dinner. Great. All right, so Brendan has some other cheeses here he's sharing. We've got a lot. It says, so he's... Oh, hang on. No, sorry. Wrong. Let's go back to this one. It says, so this is my cheese back home after I collected it. wax removed, along with my certificates and sash. Obviously, I had no opportunity to taste the cheese before it was judged, so it was a bit of a gamble. After I got it back, I tried it, and I could see why it won. It was so buttery, soft, and had a beautiful and mild taste. It was exquisite. I made it with fresh milk from local dairy that is only 10 minutes away from my place. The importance of using freshest and best milk has never been so obvious and clear. Absolutely, I agree 100%. All right, so the next photo is there's a Spielberg. He's been collaborating with a local dairy, and there's some videos on Instagram. Can I show a video on Instagram? Which is there's a Brendan one. Oh, can I? Let's have a look. Hang on. Need to interrupt the gallery. My goodness, can I do this? Oh, I'm so confused. Here we go. Right, so let's pull up a new tab. Put in the link. See if we can go to the Instagrams. Oh, here we go. Can you hear that? Maybe not, because there's no browser source. Anyway, there's Brendan. Look at him. What a good-looking rooster. He's spruiking about all the cheeses. So he's got a demonstration, and he's heating the milk up. I think he's making ricotta there. Anyway, that's Brendan. So if anybody wants to see him again, you can go to this Instagram post. Shall I copy the link? I'll copy the link, shall I? And we'll put it in the chat. Anyway, he's cutting some curds. There's the cheese. Absolutely. He's making halloumi. Very nice. Good on you, mate. All right. Pop that in the chat. If anybody wants to go and see the little, the story, the reel on how to make... Oh, look at that. Nice cows, too. All right. I think it's looped. We'll stop now. Okay, back to this. So, thank you, Brendan. That was perfect. Did I stop the video? Because it'll just keep looping over and over again. We'll get rid of it. Sorry. There we go. All right. Pictures. Right, so there we go. Now, onto some cheese porn. This is a Parmesan that was made on the 20th of October 2021. It was opened on the 29th of November 2023. It was 2 years old. Check out the calcium lactate crystals on the outside. Yes, very nice. The cheese was also brimming with tyrosine crystals as well. And then there's a closer look. There it is. Look at that. I can taste it now. Amazing. Fantastic. Well done, mate. All right, the next one is Wensleydale. There we go. Wensleydale with cranberries. Very nice indeed. It looks fantastic. Next one is... says, I harvested a truffle during a truffle hunt in Robertson in the southern highlands of New South Wales, and I crafted it into this gorgeous truffle-infused brie. Robertson Truffles were thrilled with the result. You obviously took it to them and gave them a taste. It looks fantastic, mate. Well done. The next one is I had to make the orange and walnut infused gefilte. That will be opened in a week or two from now, and it looks pretty insane. There is further on this one a little bit later on. The next cheese is Comté. This was super delicious. Thank you, Brendan. Good looking Comté indeed. Next one is... here is the chili infused Cotswold. Here is the calcium lactate again on the surface. Can we zoom in? Yep, there we go. Sadly, no tyrosine crystals in this one, but it still tasted brilliant. It looks fantastic, mate. It's a great looking cheese. It is a great cheese to make. I really enjoyed doing it. So the next one, so this is Brendan's just given me some follow-up photos and commentary about it, this one. So this is the orange and walnut gefilte. I opened it a few days ago. It's cut in half, and there it is, cut in eighths for storage. I think that's Brendan's last photo, is it? Yep. So Brendan goes on, so what's the verdict for me? Sorry, what's the verdict? For me, the recipe turned out just to be average. That's not to say that it isn't a great recipe. Likely my technique needed some refinement. The balance was slightly off and it wasn't quite sweet enough for my liking. So the quick fix was drizzle a little raw honey over the top before serving. Quince paste could also be a great alternative. Yeah, indeed. So what might have gone wrong? I suspect it came down to my handling of the walnut skins. Despite my efforts, I probably didn't dedicate enough time to remove all the skins. My that'll do approach probably wasn't thorough enough this time around. Still, it's definitely worth a second attempt. I think that's all for now. These are the cheeses I've not sent for you photos of. So here endeth the show. So, yeah, just to comment on the walnuts. Yeah, indeed, you're really got to get all those skins off the walnuts. It took me about an hour to do as good a job as I possibly could, because like I said during the video, the walnut skins tend to make the cheese bitter. So if you can get rid of all the skins, you'll find the cheese is a lot sweeter, and a lot of the natural sweetness comes out in this cheese too. It's really nice. Anyway, a fantastic effort. Thank you, Brendan, and thank you and congratulations on winning all of your sash and your two prizes. Mate, that's just stellar. Outstanding stuff. So, moving right along, we have, this is from Ian Murray, also known as the, what's he known as? The something curmudgeon. He's got a YouTube channel. He says, "Hi Gav, I'm not sure what you want here, but here are 3 cheeses I tried together. Hang on, I need a sip of coffee. Okay, that's better. Cheddar from the Mad Millie recipe. So that's this one here, if you can see my pointer. The next one is Wensleydale here. Wrecked Wensleydale, he's called it. And the third one is Wensleydale from my recipe. Okay, cool. So he's got some commentary here. So the cheddar, very dry and not the texture I expected. I found the Mad Millie kit is good for us beginners, but the recipes leave a great deal to be desired. Yep, I think I'd probably agree with that. Number 2, wrecked Wensleydale, made with the Mad Millie recipe. I missed a step and the curd was not properly drained. Also, I hadn't mixed the cream from the non-homogenized milk fully, so I had lumps of that in it, however, and strangely, it wasn't a bad cheese, better than the cheddar. It's all a learning experience, mate. And last but not least, the final Wensleydale, which was from your book, and far the best we've made so far. Still fairly dry, but melts beautifully. Hope this is of use. P.S. These were only aged 8 weeks or so. I couldn't wait any longer. 8 weeks, 2 months. The cheddar actually might have been better if you aged it out to, say, 3 to 6 months. It tends to get better with age, for sure. The wrecked Wensleydale, probably no save on that one, especially if it had lumps of cream in it. That tends to make the cheese go a little bit funky, sometimes rancid, because you can't get all of when you salt it, you can't get salt into the cream. The Wensleydale recipe that I got in my book, yeah, it is. It's spot on. It takes ages. The cheese takes ages to make, but it is just amazing. When I did the first one way back when with sage in the middle, I did a sage line in the middle of the cheese. And I tell you what, that just blew my mind. It was just amazing. So I sanitised the sage in the oven and all that sort of stuff. Picked it fresh from the garden, washed it, sanitised it, and put a layer in the middle by, stacking half the curd, then putting the sage leaves on top, putting the rest of the curd on top and giving a good pressing. Anyway, yeah, thanks for the feedback, Ian. Great looking cheeses too, mate. The last one's perfect. Anyway, moving right along. These are from Lisa. Lisa says, we got something there. Lisa says, "Hi Gavin, the first picture is how I pressed my very first ever homemade cheese on February 8th, 2024. It's a farmhouse cheddar recipe from the Happy Homestead on YouTube. I set it out to air dry, then I got hit with the flu, so it air dried far too long. Since I was sick, I didn't want to touch it. Anyway, so there's part of the pressing process. There is some more part of the pressing process. There it is there. So moving right along, we're pressing some more with books. I love the Max Brooks, the zombie guy, survival guide. I've read that, and World War Z. Actually, some very good books. I think they're far superior than the movie. Obviously, the movie was based on the books very loosely. Goodness me, but the books are just amazing. So I love them. And now I know where you get the name Zombicus from. They just clicked. Goodness me. Anyway, so yeah, a nice way to press with balancing, and then getting some more weight on it. There we go. Some barbells or dumbbells. I think they're called dumbbells. There's an interesting way of doing it as well. And I think, where's this final cheese? It's here somewhere. So there we go. It turned into a bit of a pancake. No, so this is the second time. So the first time, dark mold grew all over and almost threw it out, but something told me not to. So I cleaned it up, vacuum packed it, and aged it for 3 months in my first cheese cave, a mini fridge, with the temperature almost turned to off. Better cave with external thermostat came much longer. The cheese was bitter and off-putting, and I wanted to throw it away for a second time, but I couldn't. It was my very first cheese, so I wanted to give it a fighting chance. So I'm glad I did. The flavour improved, and though all bitter, it's got a great aged cheddar flavour. It didn't kill me, so that's another plus. The farmhouse cheddar replaced by the Frisbee flu cheese for obvious reasons. Oh no, sorry, the farmhouse cheddar was named the Frisbee flu cheese for obvious reasons. I'll always be fond of my first homemade cheese, and I plan on keeping a piece of it to see how long I can age it for. I have 3 wedges left. Okay, and yeah, and that's how you age it. Where's the final cheese? No, that's somebody else's. No, that's Merv's cheese. Where the heck is it? There it is. Right, so yeah, and there's the cheddar, first cheese, Frisbee, aka flu cheese. 3 months aging. There we go. So that's Lisa's story of her first cheese. That is lovely. I love a good first cheese story. Hey, if you got a first cheese story, why don't you send it in to me? I love the stories. Stories make the world go round. Anyway, so moving right along. Thank you, Lisa, for sending that in. We've got another one from Merv and Shauna, I think, as well. So we've got Merv first. Merv says, where is Merv's cheese? There it is. So, hi Gav, still in the making. This is a Guido's hard Italian cheese in the press overnight and then into the brine. So, these is Guido's. It's probably his second or third cheese, Merv. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you're in there. But yeah, so good looking cheese. And then moving right along, this is my first cheese. The vacuum pack failed and I got some mold growth, and I found your video to fix the problem. So there is a bit of, yeah, that vacuum packing happens occasionally. So I wiped it down with a brine solution, dried it with paper towels, and it looks as good as new. We'll re-vacuum pack it and put back in the cheese cave. Just thought this may help other newbies. Indeed, it does, Merv. So that's the best way to clean it off. Just use a bit of brine, let it dry, and then you're good to go to vacuum pack it again and get stuck into it. So yeah, well done, Merv. Congratulations, mate, on fixing up your cheese. And keep aging it. It's going to taste amazing, I bet. All right, so the next one is from, if I can find it, where the heck is it? Where's my little folder of goodies? I've got a Shauna here somewhere. There we go. Right. There we go. This is Shauna's. Shauna says, hey, Gav. Oh, hang on. Better show the picture. Oh, Gav, you dag. Right, there we go. Shauna says, hey, Gav. Just a quick question. Made a Gruyere last Monday, and when removing it from the brine, I noticed a small crack or chip on one edge. Okay, so where is this the crack? I think that's it, just there. Can you see that? And you see my little hand? So there's the crack. I think that's it, Shauna. That's the one you're talking about. You go on to say is it's now dry enough to go into the cheese cave. My question is, will it be safe to natural rind the cheese with this crack/chip, or should I just vacuum pack it? I'm a bit concerned that as the integrity of the rind is compromised, it could be an opening for bad bacteria/mold if I go down the natural rind path. I know that if I vacuum pack it, it won't be a true Gruyere style, but it should still be okay. Always, your words of wisdom are greatly appreciated. Yes, so I did talk to Shauna yesterday, I think it was. I sent her an email and said, yeah, it's probably safe to vacuum pack it. You don't really want molds or other bacteria getting into it because, yes, the rind is now compromised. Easy access for any molds, because remember when Gruyere ages, there's a whole bunch of funky brown molds that grow on the outside. So, yeah, once it gets in, then it may make the internal paste of the cheese, it may make that soft and not the style that you want. So vacuum packing in this instance, okay. What you could do, Shauna, is turn it into another Alpine Blossom, which I did when I made Alpine Blossom. I made a Gruyere, vacuum packed it because I didn't want a natural rind, because I wanted to put the flowers and the honey and all that good stuff on it, and the herbs. Excuse me. And yeah, so turn it into an Alpine Blossom, or just enjoy it for the lovely Alpine style cheese that it is. Also, Shauna's got some more pictures of setup, because I'm going to use these in the setup video that I'm going to make. So here we go. This is Shauna. It says, and following on from the chat about everybody's setup, here is the affinage end of mine. Still a bit low in stock, but I'm building back up. There are only 2 cheese fridges. The one on the left is a freezer, which is this one. And the stainless steel one is a normal fridge, so where I keep milk for cheeses and eggs that the freeloaders lay. Thank you all for your help to... What? Thank you for all your help to a bunch of curd nerds. Take care, Shauna. Thank you, Shauna. So cheese fridge is number 2. Number 2 and number 4 are cheese fridge. All right, what's in the fridge? It's very exciting. There we go. There's a few cheeses in there, I tell you. So can I spot any? Can I look at the writing? Can we find anything? That one says farmhouse cheddar with peppercorns. That's going to be ready on the 16th of August 2025. Nice one. That one's a mystery cheese. That looks like some sort of wine infused cheese. I can't read the writing, and not sure about the rest, but they all look good. That one looks like a Hispanico, maybe. Could be, because it's got the funny shape, or you just enjoyed using the basket. All right, so that's the first one. Let's go to the second fridge. We've got all the ones with ripening boxes. There's your 2 brine buckets. Very nice. And can we read the writing on this one? No, it's gone blurry. I can't. So these are 2 natural rind cheeses that Shauna's making. So I love the cheese fridges. Fantastic. Thank you, Shauna. And I'll add those to the... will add those to the video that I'm creating on people's setups. So thank you, everybody, for sending those, sending all those photos in. How do you send photos in to the gallery? Well, let me just show you. Don't you worry about that. We go to the second monitor, go to the channel page, and to get the email to send them to, just go to this bit here. Do you want to become a curd nerd? Click on more, and Bob's Your Uncle pops up, and here's the email address just here. Just click on that, and you'll get my email address, and send through your lovely cheese pictures through to that email address, and I will put them up the next available opportunity. So thank you one and all for sending those in. It's been a heck of a gallery, and we've only got 6 minutes to go, so I don't know if there's any more questions, but if you do, quickly pop them in, and we'll see what we can do. All right, did I answer all of these ones? Looks like I did. Moving right along, is there another question? I'm sure there is. Cheese and desist, good story. Brendan says that Wensleydale is a big commitment to make. It is. It was actually my second or third cheese I ever made, and I tell you what, yeah, it was a commitment. I tell you what, I was boots in, but all in basically. So when it was the second cheese I ever made. When I went, I did my cheese making course many years ago at a local community centre. The ladies that did it, what were the name? Lorraine and Dorothy. I think they've since retired. May have even passed away because I was a lot younger. I was it was 2009. It was a long time ago. Anyway, so they did a travelling cheese making workshops. From what I know now compared to what I knew then, it probably wasn't the best workshop to go to, but I enjoyed it and I learned a lot. And they gave a little bit of they gave me a little booklet that went with the course, and it had this Wensleydale recipe in there. And because I had no other books at the time, there was this little pamphlet printed booklet, and with a couple of staples in it, and I made the Wensleydale, and I tell you what, bloody amazing. If I can swear, it's not a swear word, not Australia. It was blooming amazing, yeah, the Wensleydale was it was terrific. It was a great cheese. Let's have a look. Merv said it's his third cheese, the Guido's one, I think. Still waiting to try the first, which was the cheddar. Nice. I'd love to hear your opinion on that, mate, once it's all done. Brendan says, when removing unwanted mould, I will often scrape the surface along with using the brine. Okay, so use the brine first and then scrape the surface. The moulds will often extend into the cheese below the surface. If you don't get it all, it will grow back. However, if you vacuum pack it and you get a nice tight seal, they probably won't grow back because they need oxygen to grow, not carbon dioxide. So maybe not. I tend to wash it personally, let it air dry, and then vacuum pack it. And if I get a good seal, it doesn't grow back again. So anyway, Free the Oranges says, what is your first cheese memory? Going back many years to when I was about 5 or 6, I remember the first cheese I ever tasted was Kraft processed cheese. I don't know what they called it, but it was in a blue box. It was wrapped in silver foil in the box. And my dad used to call it, probably still does, he's still alive, it's his 84th birthday coming up in a week's time. But yeah, it was before Kraft singles. It was called Kraft. Can I find a picture? Let's go down memory lane. I got a couple of minutes because, you know, Kraft processed cheese 1970s. Here we go. Do we have a picture? Ah, yes, this could be it. Show me a picture. Come on, YouTubes. There we go. Right, so let's go to the second one. So it looked like this one. Kraft processed cheddar. Made in Melbourne, Port Melbourne, at the old Kraft factory, which is now the Bega Cheese Factory. Or Bega Vegemite Factory. So yeah, so Kraft processed cheddar. That was the first cheese I ever tasted. And I must admit, it was the worst cheese I'd ever tasted. So my dad used to call it soap suds. Yeah, that's what he used to call it. You know, and this is ironic because we lived on a dairy farm, lived and worked on a dairy farm. and had access to so much raw milk, it was just criminal. But nobody in the family knew how to make cheese. We knew how to make butter. Butter and skim milk were staples as well. Mum used to do that. But yeah, that was the first cheese that I ever tasted. The second cheese I ever tasted, if we want to go down memory lane, I got 1 minute to go, was feta. So Greek feta, real Greek feta. I went to my mate's George Polomiadis, one of my friends as growing up. So I went to his place in the 70s as well. It was the late 70s, I think. And his dad, I think he made it or he bought it. I don't know. I don't know where he got it from. His dad's Greek, obviously. George was an Aussie, but he was Greek descendant. And yeah, I tell you what, just amazing. The Greek feta blew me away. Never tasted a cheese like it until I'd made my own feta with, you know, goat's milk and sheep's milk. I tell you what, it just brings me back. But great question. Thank you, Free the Oranges. I love the stories. So good. There is one more question from... from Jill. Let's get this one done. Okay, so a quick question about my Cotswold. Is it worth aging it, or will it have bitter notes? I'm sure my chooks will love it. So that's the thing, I can't tell. It may be difficult. If it's crumbly, then yeah, it may tend to be bitter. If you add the right amount of salt, it might not go bitter. It'll just have this acidic crumbliness to it. A good way to process it is to make American cheese out of it. So grab yourself some sodium citrate and go and follow my recipe. I'll bring it up quickly, Jill. Where is it? We want to make American cheese. Do I have a video? I do. I made it with Larry from Deep South Texas. Here it is here, how to make American cheese. Larry urged me to do it because I didn't like processed cheese. Probably because the only processed cheese memory I had was that Blue Box Craft. Anyway, go and check this one out, Jill, and turn it into an American cheese. It'll melt. It'll be amazing. Make sure you use sodium citrate, and you'll be great. Anyway, that'll do. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll just get rid of Jill's question. It's been a great show. I've had a lot of laughs today, which is fantastic. Cool Cat, you are so funny. I have to put this one up. Gavin was born and raised around dairy. He could be the chosen one. But is Gavin the Neo of cheese or the Vader? Oh, so funny. That caps off a great show. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget, if you want to buy some merch, pop over. Here's my cup for the day. Oh, is it going to focus? There we go. Make cheese, not war. Merch at merch.cheeseman.tv. Go and check it out. Go and have a look. There might be something that takes your fancy. And you can pick up your cheese-making supplies over at Little Green Workshops.com.au. We've got lots of kits, supplies, and equipment to make cheese. So go and check that out as well. I'm always happy to process your orders. And we're a bit light on. I'm not going to have a lot of work to do tomorrow, but anyway, if you're interested, go and check out the website. The link's down in the description down below as well. Thank you for watching the 900th video on the channel. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you since 2009 is when I put my first video up. So thanks for watching, Curd Nerds, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.